Good afternoon. It's Monday afternoon, and welcome to our Brazoria County Facebook Live press conference. Just here to give our citizens an update on what's going on in the county. My name is County Judge Matt Sebesta. To my right, I have Constable Precinct 4 James Bronner, and then Dennis Bonin, State Representative District 25, Sheriff Charles Wagner to my immediate right. To my immediate left, I've got County Commissioner Ryan Cate, Precinct 2, then County Commissioner Precinct 1 Dude Payne, and Justice of the Peace Precinct 2 Richard Davis here to join me. First off, I'd like to discuss the river charts that the National Weather Service has been providing us. To my right, you'll see the Brazos River near Rocheron. The river is currently at above moderate flood stage, approaching major flood stage. It is now almost at 50 feet of elevation at Rocheron. Water is coming out of the Brazos River at that location at 1462. It will be at major flood stage at 51.3 by 7 a.m. in the morning per the current projections, with a current projection of being at about 52.8 at crest and holding for a while. If you recall, last year the Brazos River crested at about 52.56, and this is a different event. If you recall, last year in June of 2016, the Brazos River rose due to rains far north of us. When it spilled its banks, it spilled into dry land, it spilled into a very normal Oyster Creek. We had low areas that it filled, rose, and slowly crept southward. Oyster Creek is full. All low-lying areas are full. Roadside ditches are full. The soil is fully saturated from the rains that we've had over the last 3 days, ranging from 10 to 15 inches in some areas, over 30 inches in others. So this river flooding event will be much different than last year. Waters will rise faster. They will accelerate through the floodplain faster. People need to be prepared to go. If I could get the next chart, please. The current river chart on the Brazos River near West Columbia is currently at 27.62. They are projecting that it will be at 39 feet. That is the National Weather Service projection, that it will be at 32 sometime tomorrow and will continue to rise. We have called for evacuations through that area. The Columbia Lakes and East Columbia areas have been notified to get out as flooding is imminent. The levee surrounding Columbia Lakes is right at 32 feet. The river level, according to the National Weather Service and their river hydrologists, will be much above that levee. And according to the National Weather Service and their projections, the water will be over that levee. So we're encouraging folks in that area, if you have not evacuated, to evacuate immediately. Next shot, please. The next slide we have is the San Bernard River, and the current flood stage on that, as of 9:15 this morning, was at 28 feet. That is a reading that we had provided to us by the Phillips 66 folks. That is the last reading that we will get on the San Bernard because it is a manual read gauge. It is only accessible by boat now. They're projecting the river to be at 33.5. Eventually as a crest, the record on the San Bernard, according to the National Weather Service, is at 23.9 feet. The San Bernard floodplain will be inundated with overflowing river water. We encourage folks in that area to evacuate per the mandatory evacuation order that was put out yesterday morning. To my left, we have a rainfall chart by the National Weather Service, and we're projecting in this area to have an additional up to 10 to 15 inches of rain on top of the rain that we have already received throughout Brazoria County. You'll see rivers, creeks, and bayous all on the rise. If you live on a creek or a bayou that is not in the mandatory evacuation area, please watch it closely. Be ready to move in those areas. Of course, if you are in a mandatory evacuation area, we encourage you, if you have not left yet, to go ahead and leave. Mandatory evacuations are still in effect. Please evacuate the areas that are in the mandatory evacuation zone. If you'll drop to the next slide, please. Our mandatory evacuation map is shown on the screen right now. If you live in one of those areas, we encourage you to leave. Last year, when we had the Brazos River flood, we had over 300 personnel from outside of the county here with resources to assist us. We did an exceptional job last year getting people out. We do not have those resources this year. This is a regional flood event down from the Corpus area all the way to Brownsville. The state has sent out resources all throughout the state. We have areas that have been in current recovery mode, fishing people out of flooded areas, and those resources are being used in those areas. We hope to get some in the future, but if you stay and you are caught by rising waters, it may take a while to get to you. So we encourage you, please, if you're in a mandatory evacuation area, to get out. If not, you may be trapped for a while. We're expecting, as we said, much more rain throughout, and we need to be very vigilant of that. If you have evacuated and you're watching this from outside Brazoria County, thank you. Do not come back until you're officially notified. Supplies such as groceries, gasoline, etc. will continue to be difficult to find, extremely limited. Many of the stores are not open and will not open for a while. So if you try to come back, you will be coming back to an area that has no gasoline, very little groceries. Gas stations, as I said, we do not know when they're going to be resupplied. Also, we encourage folks to evacuate to Belton, but as I was just notified by TxDOT, as of about noon tomorrow, there will be no way to get to Belton. We have other rivers, the Colorado River, the San Bernard River outside of the county, the Brazos River outside of the county, will all be reaching flood stages. Highways and roads will be inundated. There will be no path to get to Belton. So we encourage you in our areas that you need to mandatory evacuate to please evacuate as soon as possible. If you are not comfortable staying in the area anywhere in the county, we encourage you to go ahead and evacuate, because as of tomorrow afternoon there will be no way to get to Belton. Going west, Matagorda County is expecting significant major flooding from the Colorado River. There will be no way to go west. At this time you can still go up 288 to get to the Beltway and go around Houston. You can go up 36, but the 36 route can be impacted by floodwaters. With that being said, I'll open it up to any questions. Drop to the next slide. We'll show it again.
We've seen a lot of people in Houston bringing out boats and different things to try and help people who did stay back. What advice or what directions would you give to anybody who is thinking about going out in a boat to try and help people, particularly starting tomorrow once we see more widespread flooding?
I would encourage anybody to be careful, but this is Texas and this is neighbors helping neighbors. And I'm sure we get into a situation where we have folks that are needing help. Neighbors that are here will step up. That has always been the case in Brazoria County and throughout this great state, and I think it will happen again if we're needing help. So,
one of the things that you've talked about is the potential of the San Bernard and the Brazos kind of coming together, and maybe even the Colorado. Is that still something that you're looking at, or something that is any kind of possibility?
Yeah, anything is possible, but you've not heard anybody up here talk about the San Bernard and the Brazos River and the Colorado River joining together. That is something that will come out if it comes out from the National Weather Service and their river modelers. If that is something that they tell us, we will certainly share it with the public. But right now, they are saying, and their projections are showing, that the Brazos River will come out of its banks, the San Bernard River will come out of its banks, the Colorado River will come out of its banks. They will all be flooding their individual floodplains, and there will be people that there will be no way that they will be able to evacuate from those areas.
We saw on Facebook that there were people who are loading up sandbags, different kind of volunteer things going on. Is there anything that you would want to direct people to if they are able to get there safely?
I would encourage people that are in the mandatory evacuation areas to please evacuate. They need to get out today or at the latest tomorrow morning. As I said, our shelter that we have in Belton, in Bell County, and I want to thank Judge Burrows and his folks for working in partnership with us there. That shelter will no longer be available, not because it won't be there, but because there will be no way to get there after noon tomorrow.
For those that did stay and who will be needing rescue or assistance, what is your message to them in terms of what they should be doing? Any specific things? I know in Houston, one of the things that they said is to put a towel or something on your door or on your house because they can't see address signs. Anything along those lines that you would suggest?
Very simple.
Because there are going to be people that stay.
Very simple. Don't put yourself in a position to be rescued. That's what we're telling people. That's what we've been telling people. Don't put yourself in a position to be rescued. Get out of harm's way. All right. Thank you all for joining us. I've got one other thing. Please go to our website. Road closures will be updated at this site. So please save that site. Go to it and check it constantly. We will update it as we find out about road closures and try to keep the public informed of the roads that are closing around them. As the rivers come up, a lot of the water that people are seeing come up in the Brazos River floodplain, it is not from the river yet. That is still to come. It is just from local flooding, local rainfall. They're not seeing any river water unless you're right at 1462. You're not seeing any Brazos River water yet. That is still yet to come. So please keep an eye on this website and stay up to date with the roads that are in the county that are being closed. Thank you very much.